What's good, family? Shout out to my doggy, Lord Mac, for coming through every month. Yeah, sending in them much needed loyal coins, 100%. No doubt. So, on to today's video now. Obviously, you've seen the title. Billy Joe Sausages has been jumping on the popular bandwagon right now. What is that popular bandwagon? Well, it starts with this cat here, Lawrence Hug Coley. Now, if you want the full drop on the full context, go and watch my video from yesterday. That video concentrated solely where this whole shtick started, with Lawrence Hug Coley coming out and essentially saying, or bottom line saying, that Eddie Hearn, his relation, or Eddie Hearn's family tree leads back to Mr. Candyland. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying, Lawrence Okolie says he had a historian look into and check the old registers back from the 1700s, and allegedly, Lawrence Okolie says, Eddie Hearn is part of the Calvin Candyland. Yeah, part of the Calvin Candy lineage. That's what I'm just telling you, what Lawrence Hug Coley be saying. Yeah, apparently the Hearns back in the early 1900s changed their name from Candyland to Hearn. That's what he's saying. That's what Lawrence Hug Coley's saying. Yeah, he said that, and for you man who don't know about the Candyland and the Calvin Candy lineage, them man was slave masters. Yeah, they used to run a plantation back in Alabama back in the early 1700s. Yeah, one of the key dons within the cotton trade were the Hearn/Candyland dons. Yeah, and basically, for whatever reason, apparently Lawrence Okolie and Eddie Candyland have had some contractual disputes. That's what urged Lawrence Okolie to essentially put a PI and investigate, or do an investigation into the Hearn, or Eddie Hearn, and his family lineage. That's where they found the big oops, which is the fact that Eddie Hearn is indeed part of the Calvin Candy lineage. Yeah. Now, also, just a bit more storyline on that point for you people who don't know. Calvin Candy was also, what do they call him? Mandingo, that's it. Calvin Candy was also big in the Mandingo trade. The Mandingos, for you cats who don't know, Mandingos is where they got two big bull necks, essentially. The two big buffest necks. I mean, something like AJ, but with more actual balls. Listen, back in them days, them man was actually fighting for something. Yeah, they weren't just turning up to roll over. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what's that word they call it? Maybe that's things go around and come around. Maybe now the fact we've got big buff dudes like AJ making a whole bunch of money for doing nothing, maybe that's payback. I don't know. Anyway, point is, man, like I was saying, Lawrence Okolie exposed yesterday the fact that Eddie Hearn is part of the Calvin Candy lineage. Yeah, and Calvin Candy was big in Mandingo fighters. Yeah, big buff dons. Big buff nicks squabbling it up. Yeah, for their dinner. Apparently, that's what he said. Lawrence Okolie said Eddie Hearn and his family lineage is involved in having two big buff nicks fighting for their dinner. Yeah, that's what it was. And obviously, what do we know? What does Eddie Hearn do, essentially? Eddie Hearn puts two buff dudes in the ring and make money from it. That's what Lawrence Okolie is conflating. Yeah, he said, Eddie Hearn, you're just like your great-great-great-granddad, Mr. Calvin Candy. Yeah, Lawrence Okolie said, listen, Eddie, you can do what your name change you want. My private investigator's outed you. Yeah, your name ain't Hearn, your name is Eddie Candyland. Yeah, oops, that's what he said. Now, obviously, I spent already too much time on this topic with Lawrence Okolie, but now you might know the context. Yeah, Lawrence Okolie aired out Eddie Hearn, said, Eddie, you're treating me like one of Calvin Candy's old Mandingo bulls. Yeah? Lawrence Okolie said, listen, Eddie, this ain't the 1750s. Yeah, I don't know what you and your family, I don't know what you and Mr. Calvin Candy used to be up to, yeah, but we ain't doing that in 2022. We ain't going for that. That's what Lawrence Okolie said. Now, on that basis, I mean, Billy Joe Sausages, who we know is down bad, yeah, who we know, I did a video on it a few months ago, we know has been sitting away bubbling in hate. Yeah, don't forget, people, Canelo popped his cherry. Yeah, bottom line, Canelo popped Billy Joe Sausages' cherry. That's what it is. You can be mad, you can be sad, that's just the facts. Yeah, give him a good popping. That's what it was. Quick pop. Yeah, And tell a lie, it wasn't even a quick pop and he blew his back out. Bottom line. Yeah, whatever way you want to chop this up, Canelo blew Billy Joe's sausages back all the way out. That's why many people don't know this. Why do you think he ain't been back in the ring? Nothing to do with the eye, it was his back. Yeah, blew his back all the way out. I believe it was the L6 disc? Yeah, I think it was the L6 disc. The L6 disc blew out. Yeah, that's on Canelo. Anyway, I tell you that to say, Billy Joe, his back's been all blown out by Canelo, and for the last God knows how long, he been down bad. You know, he been going through it. He been missing. But you know what Billy like? Billy loves to inject himself into some drama he ain't involved in. Yeah, so in true Billy Joe Sausages fashion, and also add on top the fact that there is a bit of, Eddie Hearn in the last few weeks himself even said that, Billy might come back, so put all the bits together. Billy couldn't help himself, and he took it upon himself in the last 24 hours to jump on the Lawrence Okolie slave master / Calvin Candy / Mandingo bullfighters narrative, and he came through and said this: "To be fair, Eddie, I can understand Lawrence Okolie's frustration. Eddie Hearn, you take a long time to get back to people. I want a call today, Eddie Hearn." Now, you can see the video here, and that video that's in question is this one, where Eddie Hearn responds to the claims that his great-great-great-granddad, Mr. Calvin Candy III, aka Mr. Calvin Hearn III, Eddie Hearn basically says in this interview, and I can't play it for copyright reasons, but in so many words, Eddie Hearn says, listen, Lawrence Okolie's private investigator's full of cap. Yeah, my great-great-great-granddad wasn't known as Calvin Hearn III. Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know, you have to check out yourself. Anyway, let's address the topic. Let's address what Billy Joe's sausages have been saying. Like I said earlier, Billy Joe, what you doing? Yeah, we ain't heard from you for a minute, and you come jumping on this bandwagon. I'm sick of bandwagon jumpers. I got a video coming soon. Derek Chisora, here's another one. Yeah, now I'm not going to go into my opinion on what Lawrence Okolie's allegations are. Yeah, but this whole theme of Eddie Hearn being a slave master, that's what we're going to address today, because it seemed to be everyone. Like I said, Derek Chisora after his fight at the weekend. Oh, Eddie needs to pay me. Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, you've not been paying me right. Yeah, Lawrence Okolie. Hashtag Lawrence Okolie. That's what Derek Chisora was saying. You got Billy Joe Sausages here, jumping on. Oh, yeah, to be fair, I can understand Lawrence Okolie's frustration. All these cats, yeah, no one of a lie. Every single one of them. Chisora, I'm sure. Because I bet you any money, Dillian White versus Chisora 2 was Chisora's biggest payday. Or certainly the first or second fight. Yeah, so check this out. Chisora versus White 2. Chisora's biggest payday. Who put that on? Hearn. Oops. Yeah. Lawrence Okolie versus whatever bum he went life and death with. That was his highest payday. Oops. So wait there. We got Derek Chisora calling Eddie Hearn a slave master. And he got paid his biggest payday. Not by Frank. Not by any other goofy. But by Eddie Hearn. Yeah. Number 2. Like I was saying. Lawrence Okolie. Whatever bums he'd been fighting. There hasn't been no one up until recently. Up until 2 weeks ago, when Eddie Hearn left Sky, there's been no one, and rightfully so, there's been no one offering Lawrence Okolie a whole bag of money. What for? Yeah? Unfortunately, boxing promoters and networks aren't in the business of watching people play hug. Yeah? Lawrence Okolie, ain't no one trying to see that. Yeah? People want to see boxing, not hugging. Yeah? If I want to see some hugging, I'll go and watch, I don't know, some koalas in the park. Do you know what I'm saying? Zesty have an arse. But, as I was explaining, Chisora, biggest payday. Chisora, pay my money. Chisora, your biggest payday was from Eddie Hearn. Yeah, if you don't like it, go with Fish Eyes or whoever else. That's what I don't get. These dudes, yeah, have the full ability to go wherever they want to go. Instead, they all stay, or whatever, most of the time they stay with Eddie Hearn, and then they moaning anyway. Chisora, for example, he been moaning for how long? In fact, every single fight we hear from Chisora, oh, Eddie, pay me. But yet, you back with Hearn. Chisora, yeah, the market's the market. If there's so much, if everyone wants it, yeah, if you're that shit hot, stop moaning and move. Oops, he knows. They know where to go. Because to be honest, if the only reason Chisora keeps getting fights is because of Eddie Hearn's colonial background. Yeah, because no, if Eddie Hearn's lineage wasn't involved in the early Mandingo trade, he wouldn't be putting Chisora back in the ring, would he? Because he's shot to bits, old as you like. But Eddie, that's what shows you. Eddie Hearn's from good stock. Yeah, Eddie Hearn's from good Mandingo raising stock. Yeah, because you don't care how old you are, as long as you're big and you're bulbous. Yeah, yeah. If you're a big bulbous old Nick, Eddie Hearn gonna squeeze all the juice out of you like a good masser. That's what they do. Yeah, that's pounds and pence right there. Yeah, Eddie Hearn got that good colonial breeding, good colonial genetics, man. He know how to, you know what I'm saying? He know how to squeeze all the juices out of his Mandingos. Call me a liar. Yeah, look at AJ. He squeezed right now. AJ, listen, someone who didn't have them colonial genetics, yeah, they wouldn't be having AJ still out there still. They'd say, listen, AJ, you're finished. You've been finished for 5 years. Sit down somewhere. But Eddie Hearn, yeah, that Calvin Candy within Eddie, them strong Calvin Candy genetics, keeps him squeezing them all. So, yeah, I can't argue with that. But nonetheless, all of them, man. Yeah, whatever. If you, YB, Eddie Hearn's just like his great-great-granddad, yeah? Oh, YB, Eddie, you're wrong. Eddie Hearn's just like his... Listen, whatever you say about Eddie Hearn, yeah? Whatever you say about Eddie Hearn and Eddie Hearn's great-great-great-grandparents that lead back to Mr. Calvin Candy, the second, yeah, a.k.a. Calvin Hearn, the second, yeah? Whatever you say about that, all these big bulbous dons, guess what? They all get paid their highest payday from who? Not from Frank. Not from that guy from Hearn. AJ, biggest payday, Hearn. Yeah? Dillian White, up until the Fury bag, Hearn. Yeah? And even then, he's been offered similar bags. When he got offered to fight AJ 5 years ago for 5-6 mil. So, look at all these guys. I mean, today's topic, as I was explaining, Billy Joe sausages. Oh, yes, that's the thing with Eddie. Listen, Billy, you're not active. Yeah, Eddie Hearn's a busy man representing 100 fighters. Do you think he's got time to play? That's the problem with it. I've told you before, yeah, about the femaleization of sports or of the world in general. The 2022ism. Yeah? Oh, my name's Billy and I'm a 35-year-old man, but I want Eddie Hearn to give me attention and want me. It's like Tyson Fury as well. Tyson, if you're retired, drop your belt and F off. Ain't no one trying to see you. Oh, but Tyson Fury put a message out the other day, again on Twitter. Oh, if people want me to come back, I'm going to need this, that, the other. People don't care. Just go away. But if people want me, it's like people want these big hardback men, yeah, with children themselves. I think it's just cringy. Now, obviously, I'm tiny compared to them, but even if it's like, I just can't imagine it. Yeah, let's say one day I'm a massive YouTuber, yeah, with millions of followers. That'd be like me saying, oh, people, if you don't want me to retire, I'm going to want this, that, the other. It's weird. Can you imagine that? It's super weird. In what other industry, yeah, or in what parts of your own life do you see big men begging for attention? Oh, I'm not going to retire if you don't do A, B, C, D, F, G. Oh, Eddie Hearn, I want a call today. I understand, you take too long to get back to me. Listen, Billy, I'm sure, yeah, if Billy came back and said, Eddie, I want a date within the next 3 months, Eddie Hearn would be straight onto you. But the fact of the matter is, people, yeah, Billy's been teasing a comeback for the last 6 months. Yeah, what do you want Eddie to do, Billy? You're the one who don't want to commit. What are you saying, Billy? If you tell me, yeah, Billy, that you've been asking Eddie Hearn for a date or options and he hasn't got back to you, I'll put my hands in the air. I don't believe that's the case. I believe Billy wants Eddie to sit on the phone and chat. Whatever you say about Eddie, he's a busy man. He don't have time to sit on the phone and chat to time wasters. Because I'm sorry, people, at this point, all Billy Joe sausages is a time waster. He's retired, and I get it from his point of view. From his point of view, yeah, obviously, Canelo turned him into a female, so that hasn't helped. So you got a dude who's been demasculated anyway, so he's already feeling his feminine side. Yeah, his feminine side is already protruding out of him, out of his bonds. Yeah, so I get that part, but still, just because you've become a female, yeah, just because you're retired and got a whole bunch of time to waffle on the phone, I want to call. Oh, Eddie's like, what do you want to call for? Yeah, do you want a fight date? Do you want some opponents to go through? Oh, no, Eddie, I just want to get on the phone and waffle. That's what Billy Joe's saying here. Because think about it. I can even prove that all Billy wants to do is waffle on the phone. Because guess what? What do you notice about this message here, yeah? If Billy Joe really had a claim that Eddie Hearn was being a bad promoter or manager, yeah, guess what? He wouldn't be saying, I want to call Eddie. He wouldn't be saying, you take a long time to get back to people. He'd be saying, Eddie, why haven't you given me a fight date yet? Eddie, why haven't you booked me the Chris Eubank Jr. fight? Eddie, why haven't you got back on my inquiries for the Chris Jr. fight? Or whatever, do you know what I'm saying? Some big fight. You don't see that, do you? All you see, oh Eddie, I want to call today. What for? Yeah, and the fact he hasn't put what for in there tells you he ain't got no intention of doing anything today. Yeah, because I guarantee you, if Billy put out a message saying, Eddie, I want to fight tomorrow, Eddie will be bang on it. Yeah, so get that, Billy. And I understand it, because a lot of these dudes, yeah, they're low IQ, so they don't even know things like this. But just because you're living your life the way you're living it, i.e. retired and not got nothing going on, it doesn't mean that's what everyone else is doing. Billy's one of them guys who thinks, oh well, I got nothing going on, so I got all day to sit on the phone. And worst thing is, yeah, you can't even call me a liar. There's videos literally of Billy Joe more or less every day calling people and just harassing them. It's weird. Yeah, so like I said, other people, Billy, have got things to do. They haven't got time to waffle on the phone about whatever, about the weather. They haven't got time for that. They're busy. Yeah? And if you want a call from Eddie, I suggest you put a proposal forward. Otherwise, what are we doing? What do you think this is? Eddie Hearn's running a business. He's not running a mental health clinic. He's not running a male 35-year-old nanny. You know what I mean? He ain't running a male 35-year-old nanny clinic where 35-year-old men with children can come in and get just waffle. You know what I'm saying? If you want that, pick the phone up and ring their mental health services. Yeah, they're available for people to call them and just waffle if you want. Yeah, don't be... Eddie Hearn's in the business of promoting boxing fights. If you want a boxing fight, Billy, and if I'm wrong, yeah, I'll put my hands in the air. If Billy comes out and and says, listen, I've been telling Eddie to get me a date, and he hasn't got back to me, that for me will be atrocious promotion from Eddie Hearn. Atrocious management from Eddie Hearn. But I don't believe that for a second. Eddie Hearn knows the relative value of Billy Joe sausages. He'd be straight on that. What he isn't going to do is play these weird games with grown-ass men. Oh, Eddie, I want you to want me. But I guarantee that people like Tyson Fury, people like Billy Joe, they want to be wanted. Oh, I want you to want me. Oh, but you don't want me enough. Oh, I'll come back, but I want you to want me enough for... Weird-ass dudes, man. I'm sorry, it's super weird, super needy. Yeah, for big heart, and it's the thing, RYB, but they've got the bag. I don't care what they've got. It's even worse. How can you have the bag? Yeah, you got the bag, you got all the fame, and you want another dude to be spending time on the phone with you just waffling. That's super weird, man. And again, Billy Joe here saying, oh, to be fair, I understand what Lawrence Okolie is saying, and it's true. If that's the case, Billy, why aren't you calling Frank Warren? Oops. Yeah, you man, the way these men act is as if Eddie's the only guy on planet Earth. Billy, you're a free agent, I'm pretty sure, even if you're with Eddie Hearn. Again, it's irrelevant, because you don't even want to fight. Eddie Hearn's only got you in a contract to fight next. If you're telling me Eddie Hearn's holding your career up, I beg to differ, because guess what? If Billy Joe Saunders was being held up because he's so desperate to fight, why haven't we heard about that, even from this message? If Billy Joe Saunders, yeah, was ready to fight, you wouldn't stop hearing about it. Every day he'd be saying, I want this guy, I want that guy. Why is Eddie not getting back to me? We ain't heard nothing about that. And also, the final thing I'll say is, it makes me laugh that Mr. Sausages out here talking about, oh, Eddie this, Eddie that. Billy, you was begging Fish Eyes Warren to get you the Bomelo fight. For how long? He ain't get you nothing. Eddie got you the fight, and that payday was 5-10 times bigger than your biggest payday. Yeah? Oops. That's a wrap right there. So don't tell me, that's what I don't like about Cats today in 2022, yeah? It's full of bandwagon dons, yeah? Rather than being objective and saying, listen, I don't know what Lawrence Okolie is on, but Eddie's a solid guy. No, not today. Yeah? People will see a little chink in the armour. I think, great, I'll jump on that. Yeah? Oh, look, Eddie, yeah, I'll jump on that one. We've seen, look at all the hardback men we've seen do exactly that. Lawrence Okolie comes out, Chisora jumps on the bandwagon, Billy Joe Sausages jumps on the bandwagon. It's embarrassing. Fair enough. If you've got your own claim, make your own claim. Don't be jumping on bandwagons though. And the worst thing is, Lawrence Okolie's claim wasn't even a valid one. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if Lawrence Okolie had a genuine beef. I'd be saying, you know what? Can't argue with what he's saying. That wasn't the case. Lawrence Okolie full of cap. Yeah? And he's honestly, one of the most ungrateful fighters I've ever seen. Bearing in mind how much value he doesn't deliver. Yeah? Honestly, I said the other day, if Lawrence Okolie he's been making between 500 grand and $1 million for each of his fights. Can you believe that? Lawrence Okolie's more or less set for life now. And he's done what? He's gone life and death with Eurobums. And bored everyone to tears against Eurobums. That's what he's done. Yeah? And he's talking about Eddie Hearn. He's like a slave master. Get serious, Lawrence Okolie, man. You need a good clap on your ear. And I wish there was someone half decent to give you the good clap on the ear, but there ain't no bums. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah? Anyway, Billy, wind your beacon. I wouldn't mind saying, Billy's good for me to come back, but stop waffling and commit. Yeah? You put a date out there. Eddie, I want a date by September. If that doesn't happen, I'll eat my hat. I guarantee you, if Billy publicly announces a date he wants to come back, I'll put my life on it. That'll be done by Eddie Hearn. Yeah, but he ain't gonna chase you around like some weird ass school games. Oh, yeah, let's play tic-tac. No, Eddie's a busy man. He's got a family of his own, and he ain't got time to be nannying hardback 35-year-old men. If you don't like that, as I said, what's that line called? Call that mental health line and waffle with them. That's what they're there for. Eddie Hearn, he running a multi-million-dollar business. He ain't running a nanny service. Simple as that. 100%.